Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. Let's take a look at a video.
This Isaiah that says that, that one of God's judgments and curses on a nation for unfaithfulness is that they would be ruled by children and women.
So in this clip, Pastor Joel Webbin is rather blithely paraphrasing a specific interpretation and translation of the first two clauses from Isaiah 3:12. And in this tweet that he posted in response to the account that shared this video, he provides the translation from the English Standard Version, the ESV, a notoriously misogynist translation of the Bible. And those first two clauses read in the ESV, "My people, infants are their oppressors, and women rule over them." Now, here's the Hebrew of these first two clauses from the Masoretic text. And the problem is, you can't get there from here. You can't get to the ESV's rendering unless you fiddle with the Hebrew. And specifically, that first line on top, it says, Ami nogsav ma'olel. And literally that would mean, my people, his oppressors, is extorting. But that's not what the ESV reads, because the ESV wants to drop that mem off of the last word. So instead of being a masculine singular polel participle based on the verbal root to deal harshly or to extort, they want it to mean child. And then they're just going to arbitrarily make it plural instead of singular. And your interpretation of the first line is going to govern how you interpret the second line, because in the MT it says V'nashim mashalu vo, or and women rule over them. However, if you understand that first line to refer to oppressors extorting, you can revocalize or repoint or change the vowels of the Masoretic text, a medieval manuscript of the Hebrew Bible, to read V'noshim, which would mean and creditors rule over them. And one of the reasons that we know this is a valid reading from the ancient world is because that's precisely how the Septuagint understood the Hebrew and translated it into Greek. And here is the New English translation of the Septuagint's rendering of this verse from Isaiah. O my people, your exactors strip you clean, and your creditors lord it over you. So in the end, it's not perfectly clear precisely what these first two clauses of Isaiah 3:12 are saying. You have no choice but to fiddle with the Hebrew in order to get some kind of sense out of them. And historically, scholars have found two different ways to do this. One way is to understand this to refer to infants and to women, and that's obviously the approach that Joel prefers with the ESV. The other way is to understand it to refer to oppressors extorting and creditors ruling over. And I think, and many scholars would agree with me, that this is the stronger reading. And if you would like what I think is the best discussion of the complexities related to how to make sense of this Hebrew, Hugh Williamson's International Critical Commentary volume on the first few chapters of Isaiah is wonderful.
Kamala is not the sin that will result in judgment. Kamala is the judgment that is the result for all of our past sins. The judgment is being ruled by women. And, well, why is that a judgment? One, because the Bible said so.
So the Bible probably doesn't say so. As I pointed out, we have to go through some complex reasoning in order to make sense of what the Hebrew says. Now, Joel obviously does not have the competence or the skills or the resources to actually directly engage and grapple with those complexities. But when has a lack of competence ever stopped mediocre men from trying to be in charge of people who are better informed and more competent than they are?
That's why.
Amen.
And two, because women are not fit for that role.
This is just laughably stupid, knuckle-dragging misogyny. Joel does not have the first clue what he's talking about, but he doesn't care. His goal here is structuring power and values in the service of his right-wing authoritarian and social dominance orientation identity politics, and he's not even good at it. And the fit for this video has been the Spawn 200 cover.